It's Warrior Wednesday, y'all. We're back. Right on time. Yeah. We are back. We are back. Hey. Just a little warm up. It's been a day. 30 years. That's something. It's about damn time. That's the name of the song. All right. I'm so glad to be back with you. I'm not one to like to dilly dally. Is that what it's called? Dilly dally. I don't have time to dilly dally. Time is money, honey. Okay. At least in my world today. Didn't used to be that way, but now it's about invoices, receivables. Yes. Okay. Enough about that. Woo. All right. Let's get started.
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Loving this light. Here's God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Yeah. Peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back to God is Dawn Speaks. I am God is Dawn. Yep. In case you first time here, you lost, or you just happen to find the link somewhere. Appreciate you being here nonetheless. Especially my warriors, I appreciate y'all coming back because I see some of y'all I saw earlier today. Well, Wayne, yep. Miss Della, thank you. So thankful. Yeah, put that up there. Hey, I do appreciate that. I do get donations that trickle in. Is that how you say it? Trickle in every now and then, usually for the shot of love. But I just want to put out there the love energy for the donations. And I want to just thank everybody, whether $1, $100, $1,000, and on and so on. Thank you in advance. All right. Who else is here? Well, Wayne, Miss Della, Keisha Johnson. Yeah, 30 years. Chrissy Power. Mm-hmm. Thomas Reeves. Hopper. What? What is going on? Hello to you. J-Man. Mm-hmm. Woo, it's giving 2019, 2020 energy. All right. T-Bone. Yeah. Hazel Lee. Whoop, whoop. Going down. I'm scrolling, y'all. Welcome back, Sharita Michelle. We got more to talk about. There's more to talk about. We're gonna. I'm about to actually just put video on of the witnesses speaking after the sentencing. Okay, Marcus. Yes, Chrissy Power. If I didn't say hi, I always say that, huh? Ms. Mocha. Finally, right? Appreciate it. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. I see you, Aisha. Yeah. Thank you for the bells. You know, I need the energy. The energy, got to keep the vibe up. Got to keep the vibe up, especially talking about this stuff. It's so heavy. Woo! Toxic foe. Toxic foe in the building. Long time, my friend. My friend. Yeah, let's just get it on. I'll go ahead and put this video on and we'll just kind of chit chat. And there's more information in those unsealed documents that I didn't get to. I don't know if y'all want to get into that stuff. It's pretty heavy and deep, but it's up to you. I'm here for it. Okay, Miss, are you ready? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, Miss Kim. I can't hear you, but you got to just give me a thumbs up. Okay. I'm scrolling. Lasting impressions. Yes. Michelle Hurd. Yes. You guys made it. Show the document. Do the documents. Okay. We're going to do the documents. Okay. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anyone. I think she's ready. Well, hello.
Hello.
Fix my audio real quick.
God. Okay. I didn't know how I was gonna look, child.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. So they want documents. I want to place this video though, because we didn't get to do this earlier. Anyone who happened to miss a whole 5 hours and something from us, very rare, feel free to go back in the replay and check it out. It's 5 hours, but it's very informational. It's chock full of chalk. Yep. Miss Della popped in. Are you ready?
All right, Miss Della.
I feel like something happened. The picture went away.
She have an internet connection.
Just add her. Hello, hello.
Hello, my little avatar left.
No, it's there now.
I know, that's what I was doing. I was fixing it.
Okay. Warrior Wednesday.
Okay, you go ahead. Turn the camera.
Welcome back, Tabitha Lester. We back. Okay, let me pull up the screen. Okay, dang. I gotta see what the dang thing is called. Hold on. I don't know how this happened. Oh, here we go.
I hope everybody was able to get some kind of rest from after the sentencing.
Can you see the chat at all?
Okay, let me pull it up on my phone.
Okay, I think I found it. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit play.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I can see it.
So if you can see Gloria Allred is at the mic. That is, I believe, Lizette Martinez with the, I believe that's white with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
And
that's her?
I'm sorry.
That's her in the white, Martinez.
Let me back it up in just a second because
she's short.
She's pretty petite. Okay, there. So yeah, the glasses right there with the white. And Javante Cunningham was like right behind her. There's Javante Cunningham in the red. Looks like red. Okay, let's go. Can you hear it okay?
Yeah.
As you can see outside the courthouse after the sentencing, it's mayhem as usual with our anything R. Kelly. I think I spy somebody in the back. I won't drop a name. I'm just saying.
Hello, Mr. Tokes, 64. Welcome back.
Yes. She's waving her clients over. Okay.
Today, I'm attorney Gloria Allred, and today R. Kelly was sentenced to prison for his many crimes against underage girls. And R. Kelly used the power of his celebrity and his music business to lure and to manipulate and to isolate and to denigrate many young girls. He was a skilled sexual predator who preyed on his victims, and after grooming them, he inflicted significant emotional and sometimes physical harm on them, which in some cases will continue to hurt them for the rest of their lives. Much of the pain that they suffered because of him was evident as the victims read their victim impact statements today in court. They wanted the court to understand their pain and for the defendant to hear the harm that they've suffered as a result of the pain that he has inflicted on them. Although he had what he may have thought was a perfect scheme to sexually victimize his young victims, he underestimated their courage to fight back and assist law enforcement in making him accountable in a court of law. All of my clients, who were, by the way, the majority of the victims who testified in this case, were very courageous as they testified. And
Let me just shout that out. They're very courageous. And let's also, the fact that Gloria already, she said, the majority of these women are my clients. She is letting us know. Yeah, she works.
Were cross-examined and or spoke to law enforcement or testified before a grand jury to assist in the prosecution of R. Kelly. Together, they were able to fight his power by becoming empowered young women themselves, who refused to be intimidated by him and his enablers. I am proud of all of them. And there are many sacrifices made in order to bring R. Kelly finally to the bar of justice. They have succeeded in making R. Kelly suffer the consequences of his criminal acts. In addition, they are relieved that he has been sent to prison for approximately 30 years because while he is in custody, he will not be able to continue to sexually victimize any other underage girls. And protecting other girls has been a major goal of theirs. And now I would like to introduce some of the brave clients of mine who have spoken to law enforcement and have provided very important information in this case. I'm going to let them give their names if they wish to provide them.
Let's just say, we want to cover them in prayer and make sure that I feel like, man, this is kind of a target. I mean, I don't want to put it out there, but it's out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they need to be real careful. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Welcome, Hot Rod. Welcome back.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said, welcome, Hot Rod. Welcome back.
Hot Rod. Yes.
Yeah, we got told.
Do we know that the lady in the back in the violet, or is that blue? The royal blue? She looks familiar, but I can't.
Yeah, she looks very familiar. It'll come to me who she is.
Okay, unless she's just with Javante. Seems like they're okay. All right,
I'm gonna get my bell. I can hear you. It's right
Hello,
here.
everyone. My name is Lizette Martinez, and I just want to thank Gloria. I want to thank the prosecutors. I want to thank the judge. Today was a very special but hard day for us. I personally, this happened to me a long time ago. I was 17. I'm 45 today. I never thought that I would be here to see him be held accountable for the atrocious things that he did to children. I don't know what else to say except that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for today. And I'm grateful that Robert Sylvester Kelly is away, will stay away, and will not be able to harm anyone else. Thank you.
Lizette, what did he do to your life?
He ruined it.
Oof.
Tell us how.
I was an up-and-coming singer. I was a girl full of life, very innocent, but very driven. And preyed upon basically at the mall in Aventura, Florida, and promised just a mentorship and quickly turned into, I would just say, a sex slave.
Talk about the sentence. Is 30 years enough? Do you think 10 was enough?
I personally don't think it's enough, but I'm pleased with it.
Okay. I just want to see where y'all are at. What do y'all think about what she has to say?
He needs counseling.
Yeah.
This
If she's
devil. Yeah, you're
hopefully,
right. I'll just, yeah, go ahead.
hopefully she's if she ever start receiving counseling, because counseling does help. It helped me, and you know, sometimes I find myself, if I feel like I need to go back, I'll go back and get counseling. She should start, and I don't know if Gloria already have suggested that to her. But I hope so, and I hope all of them have gotten some kind of their own counseling, and if not, that they seek counseling, because you need somebody to talk to, and you learn a lot in counseling. You learn a lot about yourself, and you get a lot of good tools that they give you, like how God has done give us, to learn how to deal with things, and a lot of things start making sense that you didn't have an understanding on, just in life in general. And it does help. It helps with the healing process as far as to become a stronger person, and to be able to handle certain things, you know, it better, and to get your self happiness back.
That is true. Just like I said, that a poor lady needs counseling. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you can tell she's still kind of traumatized. That's why I said that. It's like she can't pick up that. Hopefully now she can pick up with her life and keep going. I believe she said she was, I don't know, either 17 or
Yeah,
like now 45, and she still sounds, I mean, she sounds terrible. But again, I hope she gets to, to live the rest of her life without thinking about this any longer. Justice was served. Yes, J Man. She's gonna play Javante. I did say Javante did very well.
yeah.
Proud of
Yeah,
all of them. Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and if she comes up next, all right?
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
Fine.
Good afternoon. I am Javante. My name is Javante. I started this journey 30 years ago. I was 14 years old when I encountered Robert Sylvester Kelly. There wasn't a day in my life up until this moment that I actually believed that the judicial system would come through for Black and brown girls. I stand here very proud of my judicial system, very proud of my fellow survivors, and very pleased with the outcome. 30 years did he do this, and 30 years is what he got. I thank the prosecution. I thank my attorney, Gloria Aldridge, and I thank all of you all that have stood in support of us for so long.
Why did it take the police so long? Why did it take the police so long? You frustrated it took so long for you to get justice?
I can't speak to why it takes anyone the amount of time that it takes, but they've done their homework, they've presented their case, and now we have justice in our judicial system.
Were they not listening to black women? Were they not listening to black women?
They were not paying attention to the details that were being articulated to them. I won't say that they were not paying attention. I will say that they were not listening for detail.
Javante, how did this affect your life?
Being in a situation as such affords you the ability to be re-victimized over and over again in different areas of your life. When you are taught to be quiet and to keep silent about things that should be spoken about openly, you find yourself reclused, and that often affords people the ability to manipulate you.
Who forced you to be quiet?
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't hear you over.
I'm sorry. Who forced you to say when you're supposed to be quiet?
Society. When people are telling you that you're not telling the truth and there's no support for you.
Javante, did you cry when you heard the 30 years you heard the sentence?
Absolutely.
How do you feel now? How do you feel now?
Overwhelmed.
Johnny, how do you spell your name?
1 second.
Can you spell your first name first, Javante? Or do you know spelling?
There are some others that think that.
Laurie, can you spell Javante's first name?
Do y'all see this agents and security have to protect these women?
JOB, as in Victor, ANTE.
The guy with the bun.
Yeah, and the other one with the sunglasses, they're all guards, but I believe they're there to protect the women, as they should. They
Right.
have to take the extra measures. Blessings on to the super fans.
Including Gloria. Too.
Yeah,
So
bless her heart.
wow.
Okay. JOB, as in Victor, ANTE.
Is that it? Miss Della. Let me see.
A long journey to justice.
A long journey to justice.
And see what also I wanted to mention, if it's okay, that while the super fans was threatening and harassing a lot of the survivors, because they done survived now. They
Look at
survived.
the security escort.
They
Yeah.
working.
And when they was harassing and threatening to do bodily harm to the victims and everything, how it affects their family members, their children, and their loved ones, because you never know how it does affect, especially their children. And I'm not going to say right now, but I know for sure one of the victims, we have you know, their kids are worried about their mother going to testify, going to deal with these hooligans and these thugs that because that's how they're acting, like thugs in the streets, catching flights, talking about what they're gonna do to these. I mean, these people are crazy, and I hope all of them get arrested, all the fucking super fans, excuse my language, because I had the pleasure to talking and giving good, kind words and encouraging words to one of their daughters so she could be strong for her mother, because she's worried to death about her mom's safety.
I agree. It takes a
You know,
lot.
they don't understand the issues they have caused on top of what R. Kelly done already caused in these women's lives.
Yeah, there's some reactions that, you know, I went to some of the other side YouTube. I'm still shocked. These people really don't know the cases. You know, the only thing they had was Aaliyah, and that wasn't even true. This is what I'm hearing. Things like that.
It's no way in the world you can be down with a grown man sleeping with a 14-year-old. I'm sorry.
I still want to know who drove Aaliyah to the airport from Detroit to Chicago. What adult did it? Was it her mama or was it her uncle?
Calm down. I wish I could imagine seeing his face when they read tax statements. What was he thinking? And Bong Jean did say why she told him not to testify, because like I said, I was in and out. And I thought he was going to testify. I would love to hear. And then again, I think I heard, and like I said, remember, I wasn't there, that he had no one. So was women. So that letter that you wrote from Joy, was that read in court? Because I heard them say no one spoke up on his behalf.
I don't know if it was read in court, but it was submitted to the court.
Oh, okay.
For the judge.
One spoke up. One news lady said no one spoke on his behalf.
Yeah, I don't think there were any witness test. You know,
that's what I mean. Why would your family not be there? Why would your two brothers not be there? Instead of you being on YouTube giving a speech, why? I don't understand.
Nobody.
The cousin there. Why are none of these people here giving an impact speech? You're there. You're there trying to justify why he should be out. You know, the girls are lying. You can get on the YouTube channel and say this, but you can't go, and you knew that this day was coming. You couldn't even go and give a little character witness. Just like that woman crying, saying she know him, crying. Robert would never do anything like this. You know, he's in the studio working. How he gonna have time for this? Lady, do you know? I mean, it's sad. But everybody's entitled, you know, to their opinion. I guess it's okay to sleep with children. Grown men, grown adults to sleep with children.
And
All right, I'm
abuse
done.
them.
Keep it moving.
Because he beat on them too. He abused them.
Ms. Mocha just shared something personal.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I understand that totally. Can you guys see the it's on the screen actually.
Is that Mocha Duchess?
Ms. Mocha. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Mocha. As well as myself. That's what I've been expressed that you have lifetime triggers that you deal with forever. Like you know that you never can I mean, of course you're not supposed to forget, but yes, you know, you can have a dream, certain smells, scents, songs, anything might remind you of what happened. And that's why I'm saying, like, they trying to get him off so easily, but these women got to deal with this forever to the day they leave this earth, even down to him passing those STDs. I mean, that's ridiculous. And they were children. They didn't ask for none of this. I don't care if they did was outside after the street lights came on. They didn't ask for this. They didn't deserve that. The boys either, or the boys, because he had male victims too. And it starts off also too. If you're weak and you don't have your self-esteem is already low. Even you can have low self-esteem as a child, and that runs until you're an adult. That's to me, in my opinion, that's why it was easy for him to have so much manipulation and made it easy for him to have control over the all grown adults because they didn't have no self-love and respect and self-esteem for themselves because they probably never tried to gain any. That's why they was with it. It was like zombies for him because it takes one to know one. Because he thinks that's how he thinks of himself. He thinks he treats others of how he feels about himself internally. He's weak, he's spineless, he's a coward, and he's a piece of you know what.
So I think I heard that he did admit to a marrying Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess it's all just striking or hitting on me now. It wasn't like this earlier. 30 years is a long time. That's a lot of time to think about what you did.
Yeah.
You still could apologize. I understand that the Rogers family, the father forgave him. However, he wanted him to come true. He didn't say one word. You didn't look at him to defend yourself. Not one thing. And I'm on trial. They had 50 witnesses and you had 5. So I don't know. I just if somebody want to be in jail, get out of jail, you do everything you can to get out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
That lawyers like how many lawyers has it been? Greenberg. Help me out, Goddess and Kim. Greenberg, Lennon, what was the other guy's name?
For Farinella, you got Tricky Dicky. Mm-hmm. You had Cannon, the maniac, or whatever they call him. And then, you know, the civil lawyers, his civil suits in Chicago, they've been withdrew 3 years ago. But they said once they went over the 1/3 of the discovery, they was like, homie, you got this. See ya.
And let's not forget Michael Jackson's old attorney turned it down, I think.
Yes.
So that is true. And especially when you got Chicago and Minnesota coming up, you don't even know what the work gonna happen to Chicago. He just tried to throw his hands up. I did think they asked her was she going to defend him in Chicago case, and she said yes.
You know, all that arrogance that he was doing on the cameras, you know, when he wanted to film himself doing all of this horrific things, these terrible things. He didn't have enough balls and wasn't man enough to look. You did this to this man's daughter, and you had enough balls to be all up in her face doing all this mess, but you had enough balls to look none of them in her face today. That just let you know he was a punk all along. They could have, I wish they would have knew then and had the strength then, even they all would have gathered together when they was in the home and they could have teamed up and beat the world justice peace back into him, they would have seen just how much of a punk he was and seen how much they held up for him in that whole situation and overpower him.
30 years for 30 years.
Mhm.
30 for 30. Okay, I'm checking to see if someone asked if we had Judge Annalise order or statement sentencing. So I'm checking.
Yes, I think I did send you that. So, or report. Well, go ahead and check. But I know a report kind of read it too, and it was powerful. As a person, the news person, she tore into him.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Okay, so there was a sentencing order filed in here. There's no document attached to it, but it says minute entry for proceedings held before Judge Ann M. Donnelly, sentencing held on 6/29/22 for Robert Sylvester Kelly. Number 1, appearances by ASUSA Elizabeth Geddes, ASUSA Maria Cruz Melendez, and ASUSA Nadia Shihata. Jennifer Bongine and Ashley Cohen retained. So that means she's not really with the firm. They just like got her for this. 4, defendant Kelly, president custody, probation officer Frank Nicolaides, and probation officer Patricia Sullivan present. Please keep Patricia away from R. Kelly. Actually, Frank, you probably need to back up too, because I'm sure he's shackled and all, but I don't know. He's slick. Case called, statement from defense counsel, government, and victims heard. Defendant sentenced on, then it has counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The defendant is sentenced to 360 months on count 1, 10 years on counts 2, 6, and 8, 20 years on counts 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9. That's 10 years. Okay. All counts to run concurrently. 5 years supervised release. $900 special assessment. $100,000 fine. The defendant informed of right to appeal. The parties are directed to submit a proposed schedule for submissions for the hearing on restitution. Restitution hearing set for September 28th, 2022 at 11 a.m. Court reporter David Roy, Green, Donna. Wow. Thoughts?
What do you mean 5 years? Supervised, like what does it mean to run it concurrent? What does that mean?
Let me pull it back up.
Does that mean like kind of that makes it lesser time? Or no?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what run concurrent mean. I'm like, what did it mean? Like,
Google it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to say what I think it is because, I don't like putting out information that's not verified. But I can look it up. I'm just in the middle of.
My sister said it's when they run it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But, right, because there was 2 different.
Okay.
Of course.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here trying to find the document. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now I can look at it again. Yes, so yeah, the 60 months. What did she say? A defendant is sentenced to 360 months on count 1. Is somebody going to give us the years on that? I think we should know based on the fact that 10 years on the other counts, and it's 30 years total. 20 years, sorry. It says 360 months on count 1, 10 years on count 2, 6, and 8, and 20 years on counts 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9. So 360 months Is that the time he's in jail already for? I mean, that he's already served in there?
Mm.
Are you there, Miss Della? Miss Della, come in.
Okay, let me. You said how many months? I'm gonna do the catch up.
Or I was actually trying to find out the exact words of what the judge was saying. I'm sorry. You do the so the little time he was in jail, they will subtract that.
Mm.
I was saying. Mhm.
Go ahead. What else you saying?
I was saying the 360 months on the count one. I was asking what that translates, and I said, "Is it the time he's already in jail for? Has already spent in jail?" Seems like it because the rest of it is 30 years.
Oh, you may be right.
You out there, where are you looking at this statement at? You all checked out. Share the information. Well, let's do it all
I am
in one swoop.
I think I emailed it to you, so that's not going to work. Not
No.
email, I texted to you, but this
Oh,
list,
it says 30 years.
yes, but I want to know what the judge, the powerful words that came out the judge mouth prior to her sentencing him.
Right. The statement from the
Yeah.
judge. Oh, okay, Kim. Okay, I see how it is. So basically it's been up front and then it breaks it down. Okay, gotcha. 30 years. 30 years. So I have here Greenberg. You Hazel. Right. Black excellence. Okay, so let's hear what Greenberg's talking about. Wait, volume.
To R. Kelly and that sentencing that just took place in federal court in Brooklyn. R. Kelly, the R&B singer, is sentenced to 30 years in prison. We've been telling you this, and it happened just in the last hour or so. Victims, survivors, speaking in court, addressing, saying some things that were very powerful about their experience with R. Kelly. And R. Kelly maintains that he didn't do anything wrong here. And somebody who knows R. Kelly well is Steve Greenberg. He is his former attorney. He actually withdrew from the case before the trial started, shortly, just weeks before the trial started in federal court last year. Steve, thank you so much for coming on and making time for us this afternoon. We really appreciate it. Your reaction, your thoughts on this 30-year sentence for R. Kelly, your former client.
Well, first of all, I still represent Robert on the state cases here in Illinois.
Okay.
You catch that? This guy doesn't let up, does he? I mean, it's just an ongoing infomercial with this guy.
Okay, I apologize. So sorry.
I didn't do the New York case. And unfortunately, Robert has been plagued by poor choices about people for years. When he went with other counsel for the New York case, I think he made a poor decision because I don't think the court got the right flavor of the case. Look, this case, everyone has heard about R. Kelly and everyone says he abuses young women. In the case in New York, that wasn't what they prosecuted him for. They prosecuted him for transmitting herpes, for taking someone he lived with lawfully in Illinois to California, I believe to the Grammy Awards, and having sex with her there where it was considered underage sex. I have always, the New York prosecution was an abuse of what the law intended for a RICO case. And I think this sentence is just a further abuse of that. All of these people, when you drill down in the discovery, were perfectly happy with their Gucci stuff and their fancy dinners and their private jets and all that. And no one ever complained. They didn't even complain after R. Kelly broke up with them. They didn't complain till years later when it sort of became the thing to do and to dump on R. Kelly. So I think the sentence is just an abomination.
And I think that's very irresponsible of him, honestly, knowing what we know he knows. He's acting like one of these people who don't read and don't. Well, maybe he never did. Who knows? I'm disgusted.
Well, Steve, some people would say, though, that that's part of the grooming process. Buying people Gucci, taking them on private jets, showing them this like jet set lifestyle that can be part of that. I mean, we heard about things like this. We've heard about it in other cases. And,
but let me interrupt you for a sec, okay? Because there wasn't, and no one said that he was grooming people in this case. Let me give you an example. There was a young lady that lived in Houston. She came up to New Jersey with her sister to see R. Kelly perform in concert. He took a liking to her. She went back to Houston. She came back voluntarily. He sent her plane ticket. She came back, and she was very open. I wanted to be with this man. That's not grooming. Now, once you're with him, of course, he's a celebrity. He was a rock star. You're going to live that lifestyle.
Hold on. Did y'all hear that?
That does not justify him messing with kids because he's a rock star. Like, who died and left the gate open?
And this is why I wanted to hear what his dumb ass had to say, because I knew he's out here spreading this stupid dialogue, the stupid narrative.
He should have stayed quiet like he been staying quiet. Go join Tricky Nikki and go sit down somewhere, Greenberg. You probably got that old 80s crack pipe in your pocket right now. Yeah, that's what I'm going to put it off on. He look like that's an old 80s dope move what he's doing. He is an old thing.
We don't even have to listen to him. I guess I was just curious. I didn't listen to this earlier.
Yeah, that's the most dumbest thing that he's ever said in the tabloids so thus far. The most stupidest crap. He full of crap as his Christmas turkey. I've been trying to cut down on my cussing, y'all, but it sure is hard when you got idiots like him.
Damn shame. Okay, I think Ms. Della said she sent me what the judge said, the video. So let me pull that up. But yeah, let me just play him while I'm pulling it up. So at least there's something going. Okay.
I mean, if he'd have said to somebody, look, I'm going to wear Versace clothes, but you have to wear Levi's and a t-shirt from the Gap because that's just how I am, they would have left him.
So when was the last time you spoke? Without, saying anything that's going to violate, attorney-client privilege.
Well, that's really not. I mean, I speak to him.
Okay, how's he doing?
He's doing terrible. He had his entire life taken out from beneath him. A man who really should be a billionaire, right? Sold more albums than Whitney Houston, more albums than Michael Jackson. And when I had first met him, he was living in a one-bedroom apartment that he rented because everybody has stolen over the years. Everyone has taken advantage of R. Kelly. Now, I understand some of the choices he made in life are not such good choices. That in the 90s, maybe he made choices that are now coming back to haunt him. And I think the case here in Chicago might be a little bit different factually than the case in New York. But the case in New York is really where people are capitalizing. All of these people went on this so-called documentary. All of them got wined and dined. Are we going to say the documentary people were grooming them? All of them benefited from dumping on R. Kelly, who's now going to sit in jail for years for what was 95% consensual sex.
Well, 95%. There's still 5% that wouldn't be, if that's what we're arguing here.
Well,
right.
No. I'm saying it's 95% consensual sex. There is a 5% of that case that had nothing to do with sex. There was the bribery charge that was in there. That wasn't a sex charge. So all of the acts involve sexual acts except bribery.
So, Steve, it almost sounds like you're saying it just became the in thing to do to accuse R. Kelly of sexual abuse. And I'm, transmitting herpes, that is a big deal. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you.
Kinda.
When you have a sexually transmitted disease, you have a duty to not spread it about and to inform partners of that. So I guess I'm just thinking, so you're thinking, you believe all of these accusers made it all up and just kind of jumped on the bandwagon with one another.
Well, I don't know that they made it all up, but let me, first of all, your sexually transmitted disease, he was prosecuted under a New York misdemeanor statute that had never been used to prosecute anybody. It had been on the books since 1944. Lots of people have given people herpes. Lots of people have given people the clap since 1944, and no one was prosecuted on it. And they made it into a federal crime by claiming that he did it. He crossed state lines. He went to New Jersey. That's how the case ended up there. But let's look at some of the other people. His former girlfriend, Azriel, who was very honest in when she testified, I will say, and she said, my mother sent me to a concert and said, you make this man fall in love with you. You're going to have his babies. You're going to be his girl, so on and so forth. They preyed on him. They preyed on him. And for them to now come to court and say they are victims is just being intellectually dishonest.
Okay. So I'm going to have to probably go back in the transcripts for this particular testimony because it keeps coming up. But seriously, they preyed on him. Okay, regardless of what anyone says. Do you realize? So this man was supposed to be this huge star, right? He's no longer that. However, so to me, I feel like that's part of the job, fending off the groupies, the fans, whatever you want to call them, and especially when they're a child, and you know that you know a child when you see one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
no way. She looks young. I mean, we saw some young when she was younger. We saw video and pictures of her, and she looked younger than she actually was at the time. So for him to just say like, well, they pursued him because she said this and that, like, no, there's a line. Abuse is on the other side of that line.
He can shut up because if he felt that way, he would have took that case. That's why he talking smack now.
I know I can't with him right. Okay,
well, you know, R. Kelly was touching billionaire status at one point of his career because Greenberg, remember what Ed just said when he was an intern, learning how to work the courtrooms in R. Kelly first trial with he want to act like people like me done forgot. I haven't forgot. That's in black and white. That's facts and that's on record and the feds have it. Greenberg act like he wasn't stealing and overcharging R. Kelly about an hour as well as the rest of the dream team from the first trial up to today. He was stealing too, just like the others. You know, he acting like he is just this righteous man. He's doing the right thing and he's running around making sure everybody else do the right thing. He said it himself outside the Cook County Court building. He said, we used to get murderers, mafia made bosses off, knowing that they were guilty. We were crooked lawyers. It was wrong what we did, but we did it. He said, I got a story for you. He told about how the man got released from jail, made it to his car, go to the gas station, went out 20 minutes and got murdered and gunned down. But because of what he had, because he got released, he got off on the crimes that he did, and the man was mafia affiliated, allegedly, from what Greenberg said to the news reporters. Then he bragged and talked about all the crooked, underhanded stuff they did as attorneys, which we have seen their physical behavior unfold in front of the whole world to see, jumping on YouTubers' channels, panhandling and in the bed with these people, telling them and ordering them to intimidate and bribe and harass victims. You know, Greenberg, I hope he get arrested too next, because we still don't know all his dirty little secrets and skeletons in his closet, because he's the number one common denominator with all the rest of the lawyers that's connected with this mess. He was at that mansion party before R. Kelly arrived at the mansion party. He was at the party.
You had me at panhandling.
Yeah. Oh.
I was like, what? You're right, Delafoe came. Oh my God. Okay.
We don't know what he was sucking on to stay in the presence of the king.
He act like this and don't. He acts like this. Yeah. He still hasn't admitted anything. He hasn't even said sorry for getting us here to this point. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
nothing. So this is the judge from Miss Delicent. Thank you for that. And let's hit play on it.
We want to get to some breaking news here. Grammy winner R. Kelly was just sentenced on charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. Joining me now with more on this developing news is NBC's Ron Allen, who's outside the courtroom in Brooklyn, New York. Ron, what can you tell us about the sentence?
The sentence amounts to 30 years, which is essentially a life sentence, is what the prosecution was asking for. the judge's remarks were as searing as you will perhaps ever hear in a courtroom, as she just tore into R. Kelly as she was reading out why she was imposing the sentence. She said that she talked about how he had such great advantages. Kelly's attorneys argued for a lesser sentence, saying that he'd been a victim of childhood sexual abuse, saying that he'd grown up in a violent environment, saying that there were all these reasons that were mitigating factors. But the judge said that those were explanations, but not an excuse for his behavior. She described it as violent, cruelty, controlling, calculated, carefully planned with regularity over a period of 25 years. Remember, the charge is racketeering, that he was the head of a criminal enterprise, essentially, that was all about his own personal sexual gratification that, again, went on for some 25 years. She said that it is an enterprise, that you lured young people and took control of their lives, that you had enablers. She talked a lot about the engineers, drivers, managers, others who were in his orbit, who she described as going out, minions who went out to malls and lured young people into his orbit. She named some by name and wondered what was going to happen to them. How could this happen? How could all these people be around him letting this happen? She talked about Aaliyah, who was, of course, R. Kelly's first victim. She was a young girl who was 13 or 14 years old when the judge said that R. Kelly began attacking her sexually, essentially. Aaliyah, of course, was a rising star who came into R. Kelly's orbit and died years later in a plane crash that was unrelated to R. Kelly. She says, the judge, Ann Donnelly, says, you were on the top of this enterprise. And talking about his victims, she said, you raped them, you beat them, you separated them from their families. It was just
oh gosh, that's from the judge. This is the judge, right?
Yeah.
Woo! That is heavy.
Yes.
It comes through Pacer. I'm definitely gonna have to reread that.
It's an incredible litany of abuse that the judge accused R. Kelly of. She said there was an indifference to human suffering. There was sheer brutality. You left a trail of broken lives in your wake. This was serial rape, sexual abuse, again, over a long period of times. And again, she sentenced him to what amounts to 30 years. There were 9 counts. If you add it all up, these are sentences that are running concurrently. If you add it all up, 10 years for this, 20 years for that, it added up, by my math, to almost hundreds of years, essentially, that she was sentencing R. Kelly to, but it comes out to about 30 years. But the bottom line is that it's a maximum sentence. It's a life in prison for R. Kelly, a sentence, and he still has more criminal cases ahead of him. But today, again, the judge, Ann Donnelly, essentially threw the book at him, sentencing him in a way that pretty much assures that R. Kelly will spend the rest of his life in prison.
Sheesh.
Did y'all hear? I like what she said, that he left a trail of ruined lives.
Oh my goodness. She laid in.
He was a serial apist and abuser.
I think he went for like an hour. He had to sit there and listen to that.
Yeah.
Judge who tore Jesse Smollett up. Oh, his ass up.
My stomach started turning as soon as she started. Oh, I mean, I need to read the full document.
Yeah. That made my hair stand up. Oh, chills to my bones. Shout out to the judge. Shout out to the judge.
Judge Ann was like, I know what time it is.
Yeah, know exactly what time it is. I know exactly what's going on. And she know exactly what's been going on. He get out right now. He gonna knock all the people down to go to their McDonald's to go get your first child. Mark my word.
Do I need to play that again? It was only 3 minutes because Hazel didn't know that was the judge. She said she's gonna have to go back and listen again. Should I just play it again?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I think it's worthy of being played again.
Yes.
So just in case someone is confused or has just come into the community, first of all, welcome or welcome back. And we're playing some of what the judge said during her statement prior to sentencing Robert Sylvester Kelly to 30 years in prison. Okay, so when you're hearing this, this is the judge speaking this
Yes.
prior to sentencing, just so we're all on the same page. All right, let me run it back. Run that back. Oh, I stopped sharing the page and everything. Okay, let me hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, this was I don't know if I was ready for that. So yeah, I need to hear it again. All right, here we go.
We do want to get to some breaking news here. Grammy winner R. Kelly was just sentenced on charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. Joining me now with more on this development is NBC's Ron Allen, who's outside the courtroom in Brooklyn, New York. Ron?
Same video? I think it is. Okay, sorry.
What can you tell us about the sentence?
The sentence amounts to 30 years, which is essentially a life sentence, which is what the prosecution for. The judge's remarks were as searing as you will perhaps ever hear in a courtroom as she just tore into R. Kelly as she was reading out why she was imposing the sentence. She said that she talked about how he had such great advantages. Kelly's attorneys argued for saying that he'd been a victim of childhood sexual abuse, saying that he'd grown up in a violent environment, saying that there were all these reasons that were mitigating factors. But the judge said that those were explanations, but not an excuse for his behavior. She described it as violent, cruelty, controlling, calculated, carefully planned with regularity over a period of 25 years. Remember, the charge is racketeering, that he was the head of a criminal enterprise, essentially, that was all about his own personal sexual gratification that on for some 25 years. She said that it is an enterprise, that you lured young people and took control of their lives, that you had enablers. She talked a lot about the engineers, drivers, managers, others who were in his orbit, who she described as going out, minions who went out to malls and lured young people into his orbit. She named some by name and wondered what was going to happen to them. How could this happen? How could all these people be around him letting this happen? She talked about Aaliyah, who was, of course, R. Kelly's first victim. She was a young girl who was 13 or 14 years old when the judge said that R. Kelly began attacking her sexually, essentially. Aaliyah, of course, was a rising star who came into R. Kelly's orbit and died years later in a plane crash that was unrelated to R. Kelly. She says, the judge, Ann Donnelly, says, you were on the top of this enterprise. And talking about his victims, she said, you raped them, you beat them, you separated them from their families. It was just an incredible litany of abuse that the judge accused R. Kelly of. She said there was an indifference to human suffering. There was sheer brutality. You left a trail of broken lives in your wake. This was serial rape, sexual abuse, again, over a long period of times. And again, she sentenced him to what amounts to 30 years. There were 9 counts. If you add it all up, these are sentences that are running concurrently. If you add it all up, 10 years for this, 20 years for that, it added up, by my math, to almost hundreds of years, essentially, that she was sentencing R. Kelly to, but it comes out to about 30 years. But the bottom line is that it's a maximum sentence. It's a life in prison for R. Kelly, a sentence, and he still has more criminal cases ahead of him. But today, again, the judge, Ann Donnelly, essentially threw the book at him, sentencing him in a way that pretty much assures that R. Kelly will spend the rest of his life in prison.
There you have it.
Did I mishear him? Did he say that the judge said that R. Kelly said he had the sexual encounters with Aaliyah, or did I mishear that? I was trying to read the words to see that I hear.
He probably did. Yeah, it was mentioned, about Aaliyah and the fact that she was no longer here, but the fact that he did,
sound like
that's in the paperwork. We're gonna go there now, actually.
Okay.
This is kind of where we left off earlier. Again, we did do an earlier live, a sentencing watch. where we went through some unsealed documents and surrounding the sentencing, as well as some other stuff that we talked about before the sentence came down, and then we were there live while it happened. So that was fun. But yeah, so if you want to catch up on what happened prior to this, because this is like page 9 of 12 pages of our Robert Sylvester Kelly's sentencing memo. It was previously sealed. But I'm going to go ahead and finish reading this prior to where I'm about to start off on the doctor. So we're the psychiatric reports. They took some excerpts out and we were reading some of those excerpts. The last one was about how Robert was born in poverty and that, you know, this was actually a part of Diana Copeland's letter. But yeah, just talked about how, you know, he was a street performer in the frigid streets of Chicago and, you know, this other bull. But let's continue. And remember, this is Bonjean filing this on behalf of R. Kelly. And this is prior to him getting sentenced and her trying to get him 10 years or less. Maybe this will explain why that didn't happen. Defendant never knew his father and was raised by his mother and stepfather, who by all accounts were heavy drinkers and would sometimes violently fight. During one vivid fight, defendant's stepfather pushed his mother and her dress got stuck in a car door before defendant's stepfather drove off. Dragging his mother for a short while, her sons threw bricks at his car. By objective accounts, defendant and his 2 brothers suffered physical abuse at the hands of their mother, who disciplined them with whippings with cords and switches. On one occasion, defendant's mother grabbed a knife to threaten defendant and his brothers and accidentally stabbed defendant in the left arm. Neither the defendant nor his brothers consider the punishments meted out by his mother as abusive. Indeed, defendant's mother was beloved by her children. What do y'all think of that? Was this in his book? I didn't read his book, but it seems like some of the stuff came out of his book, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This part.
I think so. Twisted, you know, they adding on and taking off. This is part of I was in my email. The government response.
This is Bonjean's
sentencing memo.
Yeah.
Okay, I was pulling it up. And
redacted version, but you might have it as a one big condensed thing because this was with some other stuff.
Okay.
I downloaded it as one. That was the one with the 200 something pages.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is if you see it separate, I believe. Yeah, it's just from Bonjean. I think it is just sentencing memo.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Della, you there?
No, I'm not here.
This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. Defendant lived in a violent neighborhood with significant. So I just wanted to make sure y'all heard that he said his mama stabbed him in his left arm and that his mama got dragged by his stepdaddy's car, who I believe his stepdaddy I saw somewhere was named Lucius.
Yeah.
We talked about the fact that maybe he was just watching too much Empire.
Yep. I don't remember him even giving the stepdad, but I could be wrong. I don't remember his name, but that's something.
All right, I'm gonna go on. Defendant lived in a violent. Go ahead. Say that again.
This came from Bonjean.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this be the information that was given from the brothers. Keep going.
Yeah, because these doctors interviewed not only R. Kelly but also Bruce, Carey, who else? It was a couple other people. Okay. All right. So defendant lived in a violent neighborhood, and I don't know if either one of y'all could see the chat, but if there's something that needs to be addressed or highlighted, just let me know.
Okay.
Defendant lived in a violent neighborhood with significant gang and drug activity. Defendant steered clear of gang and drug pressures, but still witnessed significant violence that made a lasting impact on him. For example, at the age of 14, defendant was shot in the arm with a .22 round while riding his bike down the block. Okay, so we had a stab in the arm. Now we got a shot in the arm. Okay. Critically, defendant experienced multiple sources of childhood sexual abuse and premature sexualization that shed significant light on some of his behaviors. So basically, so the behaviors are being admitted here, sounds like.
Well, I remember reading in an article that the mother confessed allegedly on her deathbed that R. Kelly he tried to commit suicide. That's how he got shot in the arm. And he was about 13. And I don't know how true it is.
I don't know that that's not in here either, because I think I kind of saw that. I don't know. Let's see, how old is he right here?
You know, it's been proven that R. Kelly done lied about the closeness that he had with his mother, his music teacher, and the mom's best friend, and all this, and going to visit them in nursing home, and living on Venice Beach, and all this other mess. He done made up all this stuff in his head, and in his mind, he really did it. He really did these good things, you know.
Well, they say this says he was 14 at this time. So, okay, so it says critically, defendant experienced multiple sources of childhood sexual abuse and premature. I read that. Okay. So they're saying, yeah, this abuse is shedding light on some of his behaviors. So to me, by saying some of his behaviors, that's saying that he did that then.
Yeah.
So what behaviors otherwise are you talking about? You're obviously talking about the crimes that he was convicted of that he's still denying that he did. So through the doctor, or if he's just quoting a brother or something like that, it's not in quotes here. This is seemingly the report. So you're saying
it don't make sense. You know, trying to say that this is why his behavior was going on like this, because what he was doing.
So it says these two doctors write at length about how the defendant was sexually abused as a child for many years by his sister. Both of defendant's brothers report being sexually abused by, then it's erased. It's not even redacted. It's just like clearly erased, whited out. Defendant was also sexually abused by a landlord and a family friend known as Mr. Blank.
A landlord? Now it's a landlord involved? Oh my goodness.
A landlord also.
He's the Judge Ann.
What did you say about Judge Ann? I missed the first part.
No, I said none of this phased Judge Ann.
Judge Ann was like, I don't even know. Yeah, she wasn't like phased at all. All right,
she can't be phased. That's what he was so used to. He was so used to, you know, to the weaklings falling to his comfort zone in his little spell. She said, not up in here. I see all pass through that damn sliding and dancing that you doing and talking about some in the name of love. In the name of love, my foot. We're gonna do it in the name of Ann Donnelly.
She definitely had his card. She you know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, you know, we talked about her advocacy work with abused children and women, and she has a history of, you know, connecting with these survivors.
Yeah, and let's not forget, R. Kelly attorneys offended Ann Donnelly. Doug Anton called Ann Donnelly a hoe. He told her, you know about that, you from Chicago. Told her that on one of those conference status hearings.
He was probably high as a kite.
And I don't think Ann Donnelly forgot about that.
Allegedly. Okay, let's go on. Let me look at anything and let me see the chat. Lucius was also a character on Trapped in the Closet. Oh, he did say that was his stepfather's name. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe Damon Dash. I never doubted his story.
I guess even before the documentary about what Aaliyah told him 20 years ago. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to me how Greenberg made a point to say, or actually, I think it was the news guy. Basically, they made a point to say that Aaliyah's death was separate from R. Kelly's, you know, like they made a point to say it ain't had nothing to do with him.
Oh, yeah. I wonder why they were so quick to try to, you know, kind of gloss over that, to throw it out there. Now you done told on yourself. I can't keep my eyes on them. I'm telling you.
Okay. All right, let's go on. too many documents. Hold on.
Mhm.
Oh,
The
here we
boy
go.
Bonjean was submitting ass, wasn't she?
Okay, at the last damn minute. Jan was like, it's about damn time. Okay.
Her fingers was going like how he was running with those tapes.
Okay, so it goes on. Critically, defendant experienced multiple sources of childhood abuse. Oh, we just read that. Okay, so when the defendant was only 6 or 7 years old, Blank started molesting him. The abuse included oral sex and intercourse and persisted into middle school. Blank began dating their first cousin. Blank and she would have defendant take Polaroid photos of them having sex. Mr. Blank sexually abused defendant on a weekly basis during the same general period of time. The abuse included oral and anal sex. The doctor opines that defendant history of childhood sexual abuse should be considered a mitigating factor in this sentencing hearing. So a mitigating factor, who knows mitigating factor in this context? Or do I need to look it up? Well, it's a factor. It's, in my opinion, with reasonable medical certainty that Mr. Kelly's history of childhood sexual abuse is consistent with the definition of mitigating factors as any fact or circumstance that lessen the severity or culpability of the criminal act. Okay, it is in my opinion. Okay, it's consistent with. So basically, the criminal side of what he did should be lessened because he's also a victim.
R. Kelly did mention, see, this is, now he's saying it was the first cousin and how it was also a male that they are the ones that introduced him to film, like taking pictures and everything with these sexual acts going on in the home. See, in his book, he didn't say it was a cousin and a first cousin. He just said it was people left in the home when his mom would leave that would hurry up and get in their lingerie and get to having sex. They would tell him, get the camera, boy, get in here, you know, and get to filming. And he said that he mastered it. That was his words of the book. He mastered taking them pictures and filming. And they always, the rest of the people in the house always requested that he would come film them having sex too. And he said that they told him about loyalty and how to keep the secret. And he said that if the mom ever found out how she was going to, you know, tear the house up and get mad. And he told him he would never snitch and talk. And they could trust him what would be going on while she's gone.
He must have got some gratification from all of that because he continued
He
doing
didn't mention no names or, you know, who these people were. He just said the people in the house. So now
he typically, I mean, you know, he's sitting on a life sentence that he's, you know, trying to get out of. So I would think he might want to be a little more detailed on this occasion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to me why he would break it down a little bit further.
He was raised in a cult. Sound like to me, if it's true.
He was raised in hell. That sounds crazy.
And most cults are, and they all have suicide pacts. That's terrible. That's terrible, terrible.
Because there was a rumor, has been a rumor that he actually has a child with a cousin, but I'm not sure if that's the cousin. Is that
right? And you know what? I don't know if anybody's seen that one picture of R. Kelly. They said, well, he said he's about 7, 8 years old in that picture, maybe even 9. It's a black and white picture of him. When I see that picture of him, it makes me think at that time he should have knew what a mother's love and just he should have just been showered with so much love. He looked in the eyes of that picture, that looked like a lost young child soul that was like he just was empty on the inside. And the look in that picture of him when he was really young, and it just made you think all these adults, if it's true that they failed him and they created a monster. Because, you know, you'd be surprised how kids will grow up and they think what's normal in their home. If they go over to a sleepover at a friend or another family member house, family member, they don't know what's going on. And they think they really see what they've been experiencing is totally wrong. But they looking at everybody else like, oh, y'all don't do this. That ain't what be going on in my house, you know.
So again, back in the 1988 or whatever trial that was, or whatever it was,
88. Yes.
I'm thinking, I'm sorry, hold on.
It might have been 88. We don't know if he had a victim in 88. He could have.
So back in the 2008 trial, you got off right then and there. If you knew you were sick, you had plenty of money to go get you some help. But instead of that, you decided, you know what? I'm going to try to design a way for me to do this better without being caught, because I can't go through this shit again. And then there comes in my favorite video that how I started listening to God Is Done.
Is that video you found the one you want me to play at the end?
No. So this one I just sent you is your video. But then I gave you another one to end with before my iPad goes dead.
Oh, okay.
But again, if all of these things happen to him, of course it's sad. It's sickening and it's sad because, again, you can't choose your parents. Your parents are supposed to be there to protect you. But again, you had plenty of money. Your brother said it years ago. You needed help. How come you didn't get help? So, you know, and again, you know, and she had a job to do. You could have said all this during your court in New York, but you didn't. You didn't say nothing. You had 5 people. For God's sake, where these people even come from? None of your brother or sister, your brothers even testified for you. You got all these people fighting for you, and then there one of these people got up on stage to try to do anything for you. Look at your kids got to see their dad in jail. None of these people testified on your behalf. So if all this stuff was wrong with you, you had plenty of money to get help. That's all I'm trying to say. Carry on.
Sure did.
He could have got the best top quality of help.
Okay, I'll pull the video up in a sec. Let me just get through this part. Only have a couple more pages. So we're talking about R. Kelly's history, and this is through these doctors' reports. This particular doctor, he wants to give his reasons to support his opinion. Based on what he's hearing, he's saying his sentence should be lessened. His criminal culpability, the severity of it should lessen because of his own childhood traumas. He said, number one, Mr. Kelly's history of childhood sexual abuse represents a hardship or circumstance that was out of control. Number two, this history has been described in scientific literature as contributing to adults' hypersexual behaviors. Number three, Mr. Kelly's adult hypersexual behaviors were factors in his criminal actions. They have the example in Exhibit B. The defendant suffered other childhood trauma, including witnessing the drowning death of his first childhood girlfriend, Lulu. See, this was redacted in the other one, the Lulu. Anyway, when they were 8 or 9 years old, defendant and Lulu lived in Chicago Heights and were walking near a quote unquote river when another boy pushed Lulu into the river. Defendant did not know how to swim and began screaming as he watched his friend drown. Multiple sources confirm this traumatic event and opine that it had a significant impact on the defendant. Wow.
Yeah. I went and Lulu is her first name is Luella. I'm gonna find the tweet that Jim Derogatis tagged me in. He confirmed about a little bit more information that he could tell it was documents missing as far as the update. As far as when they dug into that, they did look into it to remember her last name. But yeah. Hers was always mysterious to me, the way R. Kelly to put it out there, and the way Jim Derogatis said, like it's kind of like it is something that's like it's sort of like a cold case, like an unsolved case in a way, because nobody's been convicted.
JC said, "Oh, now Lulu is a girlfriend."
Right. That's what he said in the book.
She tried to do something. She screamed. He pushed her in. I never heard she was pushed in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He changed it up now. He's a whole different story.
They said the Lulu story was a lie and that he didn't even know that girl. He had never met her. And we'll never know.
Yeah. You know, he said that her mom was best friends with his mom. That's new information that he didn't never say. Now all of a sudden, the moms are best friends. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. They didn't even know how the hell that young lady even knew R. Kelly, let alone being mixed up with her by this river.
While Wayne has given us a moment, let's soak it in.
Okay.
We are happy for justice. Feel good for once. Justice has done its job.
Yes, wow, Wayne.
That's
powerful.
Yeah.
That is powerful.
I think my first impression when I heard the story about Lulu was Lulu that he K-worded her.
Yep.
She screamed.
That's what I came up with, JC. I've been believing ever since day one. It's like something that pierces through your body that gives you a shock. It's such a gut into. But you know, we might find out. You never know. They be getting updates. They got one on Emmett Till. They discovered and found. So we never know. This might open doors for them to look into that and open up a case. That's why I say he gonna be facing homicide soon.
This is worth a reading on the member channel.
Yeah.
You need to get a last name and if I could get a picture of her, that would be amazing.
I know. Okay. I'm gonna get her first and last name, but yeah, I would love to see I bet she was a beautiful young girl.
JC's like, look, I got the whole story. She's the almanac and then some. Okay, let me play the video. I just don't want to lose my
place. Okay.
Hold on. Let's see.
Oh, you're welcome. Huawei said thank you, got us down for your hard work.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you for showing up, Wayne.
Wayne, you've been around for all y'all been with us since 3 years, going on 4 years. We made it through the quarantine, oh man. Yeah. We're warriors. That's beautiful.
I didn't make it.
Yes, you did, Miss Della, because you're here with us.
Stop it. Okay, here we go. This is from an earlier video of mine.
Okay.
If y'all recall this.
Yes.
Pause the music.
I'm a mute.
I am handcuffed like a lot of you motherfuckers. I'm handcuffed by my destiny. It's too late. They should have did this shit 30 years ago.
Oh, I got to ring the bell on that. Got to.
It's too late. The music has been injected into the world. Okay? I hired my motherfucking self. I want to propose a toast to all the strong motherfuckers in here right now.
Yes, sir.
Motherfuckers like you is why I still continue to do what I do.
Because I have a basketball mentality. As long as I got the ball, the world is on defense.
And clearly he no longer has the ball. So I guess we can all rest easy that we no longer have to be on defense.
Woo! Got it done! She said that.
Video and then so remember all y'all strong motherfuckers up in here. This is why I'm able to do what I do, and that one of them people testified for him. They probably
while they was hip parading and stuff, you know, you could tell who was secretly recorded by the angle of the phone or whatever, or device, and his stupid ass sitting up there. It's too late. Oh, I'm handcuffed to this. I hired my mother self and all that. Yeah, you sure did. Now you hired your ass to the big house.
Very true. I agree with you, Hazel. We don't know if that's her real name. We don't know if he even made that name, or do we know that that's her real name?
No, her real name is Luella. I just can't remember her last name.
Okay.
The government had it. It was a document that Jim Derogatis had let me he had tagged me in on Twitter that he uploaded up there. that the government found. Her first name was Luella, but I'm gonna find it when we get off, and I'll email it. I'll find it. It's on Twitter.
Okay. I'm handcuffed to my destiny. He
But
said
Jim
that.
did say that we were. He said that he had the same intuitions about Lulu.
I'm handcuffed to my
Yeah.
destiny. He said that. He
Handcuffed.
manifested.
He spoke his handcuffs to existence. I got some handcuffs too.
You got some handcuffs. You don't want no
Yeah.
handcuffs. What do you want handcuffs for?
Oh, I had handcuffs for another reason, not because I was gonna put anybody in the trunk or nothing.
We're not gonna manifest this. He manifested this though for himself.
I know my handcuffs was for some
David
they
Cam.
never been used. They got dust everywhere.
What'd you say, Miss Teller?
I said, save it, Kim. It's too late.
Right?
It's too late. It's
Yeah,
too
it's too
late. I gotta play that again, y'all. And I was on it, huh? You have clearly lost somehow. Okay. It's a cute little 16-minute, 9-minute, not even 10-minute video. I'm gonna get back to doing those little short things. Those are what I'm gonna be uploading in the members channel moving forward, because that's what's gonna be happening. I don't really have time to be doing all this like I've been
God is done. What if Ann Donnelly was viewing your video when she gave him this sentence? Let me see what God is done said again. Let me see what she said again.
That would be amazing. How good, Ann Donnelly, hit me up. New York, have some dinner. Okay, let's play this again.
Tim, check it out.
I am handcuffed like a lot of you motherfuckers. I'm handcuffed by my destiny. It's too late. They should have did this shit 30 years ago. It's too late. The music has been injected into the world. Okay? I hired my motherfucking self. I want to propose a toast to all the strong motherfuckers in here right now.
Yes, sir.
Motherfuckers like you is why I still continue to do what I do. As long as I got the ball, the world is on defense.
And clearly he no longer has the ball. So I guess we can all rest easy that we no longer have to be on defense.
Did anybody see it was a young child down there with the men? She had a white shirt on, like t-shirt on, young girl, young black girl. She was sitting along that wall. I don't know if you've seen it towards the end.
I did not. Let me see.
I've seen a young girl.
Music has been injected into the world.
Before this?
Okay.
No,
I
it's
hired my
after, like,
okay. I hired my motherfucking self. I want to propose a toast to all the strong motherfuckers in here right now.
Yes, sir.
Motherfuckers like you is why I still continue to do what I do. As long as I got the ball, the world is on defense.
Where
clearly he no longer.
I didn't see the little girl.
I didn't see it either. Your ass playing tricks.
No, but the video is actually longer than that. The original video is like 25 minutes or something like that. I'm gonna find it. All they do is type it up.
I thought you were saying you just saw the little girl. You saying that?
I thought you was able to catch it, but it's just the same video because that video was longer. Whatever they uploaded, it was actually longer than that.
What do you mean they uploaded this from my channel? Isn't this from my channel, Miss Della?
It's
Yes,
from
it
your
is.
channel, but I'm saying the original video, like
his video.
of R. Kelly's video.
Version of that. Yeah, it's a long
Of him talking, standing up there talking. He talked over
Girl,
20
you said
minutes.
that like you just saw that. I was like, what?
No, I thought I did. God is done. I thought that you caught that part.
I understand now. I get it. Okay, so what is this other? Oh, that's the one for the end. Okay, we might be there. Shit. Okay, let's see where we at. That was dope. I was actually hoping I would have that for today, and I'm so glad you and I are on the same page. Okay, so let me get back to this document because I'm gonna tell you, they tried it. She tried it. So now we're gonna get into his illiteracy because that's yet another flaw that they feel is worthy of a lesser sentence. Defendant is functionally illiterate. Defendant's inability to read and write as a child was a significant source of shame and embarrassment that persists to this day. Defendant was bullied as a child because he could not read or write and eventually dropped out of high school after being held back several times. Defendant spoke of the shame and fear he experienced later in life when accepting Grammy Awards since he could not read the teleprompter. Wah, wah. That seems like a most ridiculous thing to put in a sentencing memo because he got his Grammy Award. Like, that is not real world problems.
Yeah.
He had plenty of time to learn how to read. We learned how to read as a young child. Like, you could, I mean, I understand people do have, you know, issues in that area. Probably like me with math. I get
But
it.
Fantasia got help and she learned how to read.
But you have to apply yourself. That's the thing. It seemed like the only thing he wanted to apply himself to was, you know.
That, yep.
All right. So this particular doctor recently examined defendant and reported that he had significant impairments in all areas of academic functioning, placing him in the bottom 1st to 3rd percentiles. And at that early elementary school level, example, 1st to 3rd grade overall. So he says he recently examined the defendant and he's reporting these impairments. Are you telling me that if you examine a person who's facing a life sentence, expert or not, that defendant is going to jump through hoops to pass your test and make himself look capable of serving a higher sentence? Or is this person going to play dumb, which is probably what they've been doing all this time just to get the attention and the help and all that they've been milking off of people? I think it's the system. It might not just be this case, I'm sure, but I think, man, we need to check. This is not working. I mean, this did work. Okay, we work. Of course it worked for obvious reasons, but this process, this is bullshit. Like, this shouldn't even be allowed. I just don't like these quote unquote experts, which they do. You know, I looked at their websites and I saw the history, their CVs and their backgrounds, and they look legit and credible and all of that. But I think if they're doing this, of course they are going to look legit. People are going to pay them for reports like this.
Exactly.
He is not a dumb person. You know, for them to try to say the defendant literacy,
1st to 3rd grade literacy,
adult defendant had they exploited him financially, exploited his entire adult life. He is not a chump. You see what I'm saying? He's not a chump. So you try to make it seem like this is a brain cell of a 1-year-old.
first to 3rd grade, they say. A 1-year-old, my God. He wouldn't even probably be able to form a word.
No, you trying to make it, oh my God, this man was so dumb. They stole all his money from him. He didn't know what he was doing. You know, this happened as a child. So I'm going to go out and just get girl after girl after girl after girl, boy after boy. But, you know, no, it's not going to fly. But continue.
Well, personally, yeah, because I was reading in the 1st grade. So I don't know, like 1st to 3rd grade. I mean, and again, my flaw is math. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, because don't ask me no math questions now.
Me either.
That's already beyond, to me, like, come on now. But let's go on. It says that this testing indicated that Mr. Kelly's cognitive abilities are not evenly developed, such that his full-scale IQ, which fell in the borderline range of 79, or FSIQ equals 79, does not adequately reflect the overall level of intellectual ability, which is more likely on the low average range and due to lack of school learning, it says. So basically he has the capability to learn more, but he just hadn't applied himself, which sounds like he's saying what's happening now. He could have learned this, and he'd been in jail 3 years. He could have learned in there.
He don't want to learn.
Defendants' literacy deficiencies have led to chronic victimization in adulthood. Self-victimization, I want to say, but it says victimization. Defendant has been financially exploited his entire adult life. At one point in his career, he was worth $900 million, and he is now destitute. $900 million, almost $1 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot of
broke.
Yeah,
Well, I wonder how long he's been paying for lawyer fees. I would love to see the receipts or the invoices if they're not paid of what he's paying these attorneys for these 3 years and more. Because Linda Minch, she probably didn't even get her last check from him.
Oh, at all. She did not get her final payment.
That's not. I even laugh, but the way you said that.
Yeah,
in case anybody's confused, that is his former attorney who ended up mowed over by a black SUV by a man who got out to make sure she was dead. This is in the middle of the day in New York.
Yeah.
Shameful. And it's still an unsolved murder.
That Chicago police said, oh, runovers happen all the time in this very spot. Yeah, hit and runs, oh, it's common. It's nothing.
Yeah, they were like, oh, lots of this happens, but not like, seriously, the man gets out, looks, checks her pulse, basically.
Yeah. Then he's a well-known person that's running around.
Person of interest, like an armed and dangerous.
Yeah.
All right, so some more of this. This doctor also details a number of positive attributes of the defendant as reported by collateral sources. Defendant is, by all accounts, a generous and forgiving person. Defendant has employed his family and friends and continually re-employed them after they stole from him. Who does that? One of defendant's friends recounts. Oh God, another friend that didn't testify on his behalf. He really has a good heart. He's really not a bad person. He has a real forgiving heart, you know. People that did things to him, people around him that sued him and came back, and you know, he forgave them, he gave them their jobs back. And he's real. He's a real kind-hearted person. I'm not going to be reading all what the friend said, but this other friend said he was a compassionate and empathetic person. And when he learned of a shooting that took place that claimed many lives and devastated a small community in Virginia, he stopped what he was doing and wrote a song called Rise Up. Why didn't you write a check?
Right.
Which to this day it says it's still played, and every penny, okay, here we go. Every penny of the proceeds is shared by the family, the college, and the community. I would love to see how much this song made for this community. Oh, that's from Alicia Evans out of her letter.
Okay.
That reminds me, I wanted to play this before we end up, because in case we end up getting off before, but let me look this up real quick. I sent you, okay, let me see.
So I have 9, my iPad is going to die soon.
And what does that mean?
It means nothing. That means that I will be dropped off. And I will have to go to another iPad. So I don't know if you're going to be over with for that, but you guys are holding the fort down. And look at your chat, please.
Okay, hold on. My chat. Oh. I'm not showing that. Oh. Okay, that I didn't know. My bad. Okay, we can fix that. JC said you need a laptop. She said, JC said that van looked like one of Kelly's runners. I could definitely imagine that most of those who stole from him threatened to tell on him if he tried to retaliate against them. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I want to play some audio reaction from certain people of this sentencing. Let's see. Okay, so this is kind of this is some new lady that I found. But she's an R. Kelly supporter YouTube person. But listen to this, and this, here we go. Wait.
I read over her.
Wait, let me back up. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe it. Okay, so this judge, because I read over her reasoning as to why she denied the motion. She only recapped the trial. She didn't mention any of the shit that has come out. And she just ignored everything Jennifer had to say. So the verdict shouldn't be too much of a surprise, but the length is ridiculous. So to me, this judge, there's no way she could have read that mitigation report. How can you ignore what the damn experts? You're gonna give this man 30 years because of relationships with his girlfriends? You're gonna get.
See, this is the kind of thing that pisses me off. They always want to reduce everything down to a relationship.
Now, who voice is this?
This is a new lady. Her name is, I don't even want to say her name, but.
Right, don't say her name. She ain't worthy.
She's a YouTube supporter, but I was listening to her and I was like, wow, people really do think like this. She's reducing all the abuse and all the stuff down to relationships.
This man, you done gave this man life in prison. You done gave this man 30 years, Judge Donnelly. Are you serious right now?
Yes.
Because that fucking memorandum that you put in there, I couldn't believe what I was reading. All of that has already been debunked. So what was the delay in what you're doing here? I can't believe.
So she's saying what was put in the memo, which I have this memo, and this is the order of why she denied the acquittal and the new trial. She filed that today. She's saying that stuff has been debunked. When and where? Not in the court.
Right.
Where there was opportunity by the defense. Clearly, if the jury came down with the full conviction, it wasn't debunked. Why are you saying that? This is what I'm saying. Like, these people have these platforms. This lady has now 2.7K views on this video. She's doing all this nonsense. I'm just like, it's unbelievable. Yeah, exactly, Hazel. The delusion is real. JC said a relationship doesn't mean you can lock up, R-word, starve, and mind F your partner, and these were little girls. Exactly. But it's just a little bit more of this because she says something too that's a common narrative. So I want to put that out here and squash that one too.
You Judge Donald. You should be ashamed. Now you basically prove that this is some other shit that's going on. No one gets life because they broke up with some women that they used to date. Are you serious? You're gonna give this man 30 years, Judge? So you say, damn the experts. Damn the fact that you witnessed that your witnesses on the stand live.
Let me just say this too about those experts. And I don't know if I made this clear about the fact that really all they did was take what he told them and did some diagnosis based on facts, just what he told them. They are basically spewing, regurgitating what he told them, and his brothers and whoever else was telling them, interviewed by them, who support him. Like, where's the proof of his claims? We don't know if any of that stuff is true.
Yeah. You didn't read the letter from one of the government's witnesses in the mitigation report telling you she didn't want to do it. She was threatened. She was forced to do it.
But you can't be forced. I mean, it's a willing force. You have to, it's obviously you're making a choice. Like, am I going to take whatever consequence is going to come with this? Meaning I might myself get indicted.
Right.
Because I have also participated in some criminal activity along with this man.
Yeah.
Or am I going to get up here and just tell him what I know? I'm going to get up there and tell him what I know. Ain't nobody forcing them to where it's like an illegal force. This is
exactly
a willing force. Right. The nerve of her. Exactly. The judge should be ashamed. You should be ashamed for being so misinformed. First of all, relationships, breaking up with his girlfriends.
Like, how you have a relationship with a child and you're a grown man, and then not only that, she talking like her fucking opinion and her feelings matter. And Donnelly, not just the nerve of her, and did she really do it? It's done and over with. It's official.
But we're almost where I think this is where she says that.
What do you guys have over these people? Did you threaten these people? Because I really believe this is some deep,
That's a question.
Real low down. I don't know who's pulling strings, but you people, you're gonna give this man 30 years over sex with his girlfriends? Are you serious? They participated. You're gonna give this man 30 years. Because how he likes to have sex with the women that he dates. That Faith Evans bullshit about this damn herpes shit is your fault too, Faith. You should have protected your damn self. You knew that man was a damn celebrity. The hell you laying around with any damn man without protecting your damn self?
So it's her fault. And here we go with that whole celebrity card. Come on now. That's damn shame. I wonder if this woman has children. She look old enough to be a grandma, but I really hope she don't have no kids.
She too damn old for this mess, and that's embarrassed. That's a shame. That's sad. Her family rolling over in their grave and embarrassed like hell. They probably told their ancestors, we don't know her no more. Who sent this HOE?
And I wanted, she basically, if I don't get to it, I'll just say what she said that really got me, because wait, let's see.
So you gonna blame him? Who's to say the man even knew when he slept with your ass that he even had the goddamn herpes?
Because the doctor said from 2000 on up, he had diagnosed him and been prescribing him. Did you pay attention to the trial?
Because the lawyers argued and said it was violation of the HIPAA law to go prying his R. Kelly medical records to even dig up or discover when he was diagnosed. That's why.
No. Maybe he didn't find out till afterwards. Who the hell knows?
We know.
Who's to say that you didn't give it to him? No one knows. So how the hell you give this man 30 years, Judge Donnelly? Come on, you didn't do that. What is it? What is wrong with you people? I'm listening to these other channels posting this bullshit, and these people, woo, woo,
that's us.
Yeah. And I'm proud, and I hope she say my name so I can come for her. I know I'm gonna come for somebody before the end of the night. You know what? God. They act like R. Kelly, they know him personally. I don't know what's so fucking special about this man that everybody, where was y'all bitches, excuse my language, where was your bitches at in the first trial since you so passionately think that he's so innocent? And as old as this one is, this old hen, she was around in the first trial. She was around. So what was all this crying out for on his behalf back in 96, 95? You was nowhere around because you was probably too busy trying to become a damn Jane Doe your damn self.
Shit, I can't believe you people really believe this man deserves to be in prison because of his relationships. So all of the relationships you done had, and you didn't let the man take advantage of you and do the shit he did. So you gonna put all that energy on this superstar.
You hear what she's saying?
Yeah.
For all of the damn men that have done you damn women wrong. When I don't blame the fucking man, I blame you.
So so the people that are cheering, I would say people similar to us, if not us, it's our fault because we have ourselves been abused and have basically taken that energy and put it on R. Kelly because he's a superstar. But this our fault. It's us. We're to blame. This is what this woman is saying. This type of lunacy that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the part that got me. Let me see.
They're so serious.
You was that stupid. You let a man do whatever the hell you endured. If it wasn't a forced situation.
But what do you mean if it wasn't a forced situation? That's the whole point. It was a forced situation, a manipulated situation. He took advantage.
It wasn't the man. I'm not blaming the man for the
So I guess she's a willing Jane Doe.
shit you done gone through in your life. But you don't put that shit on somebody that's innocent.
Now he's innocent. Okay, that was pretty much it. I just wanted to hit on some of the things that I heard her say in this one little clip, some things that I've been seeing all over. So I figured, let me address that because I would like to out loud say she's full of shit, and that whole narrative is so tired, and it's just stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you say a whole group of people, because they're advocating for victims and survivors, are just butthurt or bitter because their own damage and trauma, and they're just blaming him because they're hurt? There's nothing to do with anything.
Nothing to do with it at all. I mean, they so mad, you know, because they don't see they the type of mothers that would have been down with the get down to fork over their daughters and sons with a silver platter and the napkin to wipe them off with. That's the type of sorry ass mammy she is.
Exactly, Miss Moga. She said it's too late, lady.
Yeah, she's upset that she didn't get a chance to fork over her child, let alone her little stuff. R. Kelly don't want her old wrinkly thing anyway.
I got you, Miss Della. Okay. Hazel, you right. Yeah. So he stuck his peen in a 12-year-old, and when he was 30, but it's our fault that he got 30 years in prison. She's a troll. Yeah, she's a whole troll. I thought her one of the other ones was shouting her out too, like she's sure refreshing. This woman is the reason why so many cases don't release the name of the victims. And in a child or worker case, something's wrong with her. Very much so. Now, I have one more little clip I want to play, and this is from somebody was mentioning this person earlier. I'm sure you might recognize her voice, but there's a person who is on an audio coming out the courtroom, and she's in tears. And I just have this question for her, but I figure it's safer to play it with y'all.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, it's just going slow for some reason. Is that Star barking?
No, that's my neighbor's.
Thank y'all for watching my belongings.
Oh yeah.
As I got all the. And some type of attention and recognition and all that stuff. No.
Okay, let's see. This person's in front of the courthouse.
And I mean that with every ounce of me.
Let me back up so you can hear what she said prior to that.
Oh my God. Let this crazy lady go where she's going. She's fucking mental, man. Mentally ill. The mentally ill. I just hope they just go where they're going and quit trying to get on in front of these cameras. They are not related to this man. If that's the case, y'all better start interviewing his #1 supporter, which is right here. That's me. If y'all gonna interview them, y'all might as well interview me. Seriously, that's how I feel. And I mean that with every ounce of me. I'm not playing out here. These people are coming out here for clout and some type of attention and recognition and all that stuff. No,
Is that the pot calling? Okay.
this ain't that type of party. They want to get a music career. He still ain't gonna come up off this man. Okay? There's nothing they can do to get connected to the industry but crawl on their knees and get your butt up and walk. Okay? You gotta crawl before you walk. Them people that do it, they'll get a story from anybody.
She's mad because the quote unquote fake sisters are out there talking to reporters.
Okay, see how y'all just jump in front of me. It's okay. I'm gonna jump in front of everybody else then. Shit. Make no difference to me.
Okay, let me fast
She's
forward.
really hurting. She is really, really hurting.
So this
That's
lady,
bad.
this lady came out the courtroom crying, and
Are you
she's
Teresa? No, I'm Alexis.
she's chased this lady down because the reporters swarmed around her. So she decided, I'm gonna go get in on some of this. She comes behind the lady and starts rubbing her back.
Hi, Alexis. I'm Felicia. I'm Hollywood Neck. I'm one of the supporters. Can I just let you know that God is still on the throne?
That's one of the little things I've been seeing, and God is definitely on the throne. God is in charge, yes, but this is also called karma. Like, you do things, you get a consequence. Like, it's a boomerang effect. Ugh.
Yes, I do.
Of course he's innocent.
I know the type of person my brother is. I've been with him all these years. I know the person that he is.
Yeah.
He's nothing like this.
Think about it.
media is trying to play that. That's not Robert. I know Robert.
Yes.
If it wasn't for Robert, I wouldn't be alive right now. I know him.
Denial of what?
I know the truth. I know Robert.
Wasn't the truth? Wasn't that what the trial was for? Anybody? I think that's the time when you come on the stand and you tell quote unquote the truth. So she's torn up about this sentencing. You had 6 months or so, 9 months from the conviction. I ain't heard none of this before. What'd you think? She was just gonna walk out the door?
I know him. This was all scripted.
But did you guys know that Azriel Clary was a liar?
Everyone.
Did you know that her mother pushed her into this relationship? Her mother pushed her into that relationship. She deceived R. Kelly and said she was 18 when she knew she was underage. Did y'all know that? Put the facts out here, Alexis. Let them know what Alice Clary and them did.
If you go out there, you can do the research for yourself
Tell
instead
them.
of trying to go by what the media is trying to.
Because y'all spin the same narrative all the time.
So you notice they keep saying what the media has portrayed him as, but what about what the jury convicted him with? Wasn't there a whole jury trial?
Yeah, whole jury trial. Federal.
But it's about what the media is saying. It had nothing to do with the media is saying. This is what's crazy.
And you would see what type of females those people are. You would see what type of family.
No,
My brother's no angel, but he's
Her brother.
the person that they're saying that he is. I know, Rob. It's not him. There was none of it. I saw them living in a lap of luxury. I saw them getting each and everything that they wanted. I saw the type of the relationship that he had. My brother didn't have time to spend time with all these people. He was in.
So if you remember now the news lady saying that that's a part of the grooming. You remember when he mentioned was this Greenberg the stuff, like shopping and doing all this stuff. It's like, well, you realize that's part of the grooming process.
And the shopping, he go return the items. That was all just a staged public being seen in an outing. That's all.
Wayne, I haven't heard anything from her or her father.
I don't think you're gonna hear from the father. Which he could take time off if he wants to.
Yeah. So this is her saying that he didn't have time to do any of this stuff.
You know, they 1 minute he's a superstar and he having unlimited timeless sex, and then next minute, oh, he was so much of a superstar he had time to have sex. You don't know what that man was doing with his ding dong. She acted like she was clocking it.
Well, we'll hear what she's saying. That's why I'm playing it, because I'm confused too. Like
The type of the relationship that he had. My brother didn't have time to spend time with all these people. He was too busy in the studio making music. Right. So
didn't they have beds and mattresses and whatnot? Even a baby crib was in their studio.
Yeah, that he showed personally himself.
He had time to do all that. He didn't have time for none of that. But he had time for sex. And rarely.
The lady said he had time for sex. She's like, rarely. He's hypersexual. How do you get a diagnosis from these psych experts as being hypersexual if you're not having sex? So basically, you're saying the doctors are full of shit. Okay, and I agree.
When I tell you I would go to the studio, my brother's in that studio, he would be in there for an entire week with no sleep. Would not come out of that studio. So when did he have time? When did he have time to do all of this?
And how did he get convicted?
And that sounds like testimony to me. That's what I'm saying. This is a missed opportunity.
It's not humanly possible to go 30 years without sleep and weeks at a time without sleep. And you just so focused on the music. That's bullshit.
And I think she's about to say, wait, let's see if this is the part.
Leah, when I Leah's deceased, he couldn't even defend himself against the defense. How about that? Tell him that.
Was set up from the very beginning. This is
the name is Alexis.
Alexis.
God bless you. It's just, what went through your head when you heard the verdict? When I heard the verdict, I was disgusted. I wanted to scream and I wanted to pass out because I know my brother and I know that this is not that person. He is not that person they portrayed him to be.
Thank you.
I know for a fact. I lived with them for a long time.
I lived with them for a long time.
Feds need to go get her ass and bring her in a person of interest
for Illinois.
Yes.
Because I'm confused. Alexis, how you live with them, you know the truth. Woo, woo, woo. But this is the first I'm hearing your words, and I didn't have no recollection of you being in the trial.
Yep. So what else she done? She know that she lived and seen. That's what I want to know.
And this is a different sister. This isn't one of the fake sisters. This is a whole new sister. And I think at some point she ends up saying she's his god sister.
Yeah, because we all know he got all these sisters. Well, he likes the role play. He tells them that the hefty ones have to get a character to be his sisters, and then the other ones have to be characters of being his daughter. Sicko.
Miss Della's back. Did you hear? I don't know if you heard all of that, but basically this lady says she lived with them for a long time. She knows the truth. So like, why are you crying on the steps of the courthouse after he's been convicted, been sentenced to 30 years in prison? You just remembered?
I agree.
I want to know what you smoking on. What loud pack you smoking on? The R. Kelly pack?
No, that pedo pack. That pedo pack.
Because you on a hella delay.
She know where his penis been. It was in the studio making music. He ain't had no time. He went a whole week without eating. He was in there singing.
In the chat. Let's see. Was he there in the courtroom and Joy's father? There, I didn't hear anybody speak on them being there, or I didn't see anything of them being there either. Mind you, this is in New York, and I don't think none of them live in New York. Not to say they wouldn't make the trip, but they probably had enough.
I hope he don't get to jumping on YouTubers' channels after this, as far as he have it, because I think that would be so disappointing.
Mm-hmm. That's the fake sisters, Ms. Mocha, and they were there.
The she was there. They went from being on the sideline showing up like super fans on the basketball court, hanging out in the alleyways, shaking the fence, to now they were there. They were there.
Yeah, I was there. I lived with them for a long time.
R. Kelly didn't even remember who the hell these damn Wombat was. I remember he told Greenberg, I don't know them. You know, yes you do.
Damn. Marcus said, what are they gonna do when he gets convicted in Chicago?
They're gonna commit suicide. And that's not even funny. It's because they so caught up in his rapture and his fog that they can't even get in tune with their own reality and their own family.
He said he gonna get honey years in Chicago. So they might as well get over it. He ain't ever getting out. Has the Chicago trial date been announced? August 15th is the date. It's been pushed back. It was supposed to be August 1st. Now they're saying August 15th. Less than 2 weeks away.
I hope it don't be no more pushbacks in that Chicago trial. Let's get that one on.
Oh, it's gonna be some shenanigans. So I'm tired. I know there's a lot more to go, but I said I'm gonna be uploading stuff in the member channel and like cutting up some of this stuff. It's a lot. So anything before we go on your ends?
No, I'm just glad at least this is the first road, the first justice victory that we have for the survivors. My heart and love and support goes out to them again, the family and the survivors. And I hope that they continue to gain their strength to continue to go forward. And I appreciate all you guys, especially to hanging in there for the long term with us as well. I still say that we pat ourselves on the back and give ourselves and I think we should be proud, and I think we should honor ourselves and wear our crowns proudly, because like I said, we have not straddled their fence. We have not jumped a fence, and we've just been warriors since day one, and that's exactly what the survivors need, is people like us. So we can handle all these little minions, these little incels like R. Kelly's people.
Well, they don't mess with us too much, so we can everything else. Oh, you know what? I meant to play this song, Gene. Let me play this real quick.
Our energy is felt, y'all. You can feel people even through the internet. I believe that. I believe it. I feel it.
The Court of Appeals. We've always believed in those arguments, and we believe that this enterprise was overcharged, and that the Second Circuit Court of Appeals will see it that way.
That's the fake sister. Fake sisters.
Oh, Jean is ugly. Look how she looks. She high as hell, y'all. She's stoned.
What he said to you after the sentence was read. He was just asking for some clarifications about some of the terms that were read to him. As you all know, Mr. Kelly has some literacy issues, so it's really important there's a great deal of things that have to be explained in a little more slowly. So, how do you feel about
they go playing that stupidity narrative again. He's so stupid and it's gonna take us months to get through this and explain everything.
Well, I mean, obviously he's devastated. 30 years in prison is like a life sentence for him. But at the same time, we knew the government was asking for 25 years. We were prepared for what the judge might impose. So it didn't come as a great big surprise. We were prepared for it, and we are now prepared to fight this appeal. For us, it's just the beginning of the fight, frankly. So we were prepared going in for today, and he's doing okay with this fight.
He had a strongest argument on the job, then why did he not want to make
a statement in allocution? Well, that was on advice of counsel. That was on my advice.
Why?
Because he has pending cases. It's obvious. He's got pending cases, and he has a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
Well, there it is. He was questioning why he did. I hear some weird noise. Yeah, that's you, Kim. I don't know what that noise is. Okay, but if anybody's not clear as to why she decided to have him not speak, is because she said he has pending cases. It's obvious. Basically, she didn't want him to re-incriminate himself or to get himself in any deeper because he has other pending cases. So if he's so innocent, I don't understand what the problem is. Why can't he speak for himself and not be worried about incriminating himself for his other pending cases? That is just crazy. They're saying everything while not saying it. Thank you, Ms. Mocha. Enjoyed having you. R. Kelly, Gay, Richard, and Landfair. Herpes is in the transcript in Chicago. Look it up. Did he cuss her out before this press conference or after? Okay. Hey, Antoinette. Yes, we came back and we've been here for like 2 hours. So we actually about to head out, but we're just playing Bonjean's statement after the sentencing before we get out of here. Let me see. I don't think it's much more.
And I advised him to invoke that Fifth Amendment right. I promise you, he does want to make a statement. He will make statements eventually. But on the advice of counsel, he remains silent today.
So he will make statements eventually, she's saying. Because he may even still plea out in Illinois at this point. Maybe that's when he'll make a statement.
He's not guilty. Okay, so the appeal will lay out that the enterprise that was charged, as you will see if you've read my post-trial motions, which you probably have not, our position is this was not a RICO or racketeering act violation. These were isolated events that happened many years ago, and the government simply tried to plead around the statute of limitations to bring it in a RICO charge, which was inappropriate. So, I mean,
yet it flew. Yet he got convicted and now sentenced to 30 years. How you want to now dig up the whole trial again and retry the situation? It's already been all addressed. She addressed it again in the order, and she probably addressed it again in the sentence the sentence statement or whatever it's called. This is stupid.
all I can tell you is there was no enterprise.
There was no enterprise. Why is she saying they're isolated incidents when they're all connected? The behavior is all connected. Some of these people were in tapes together, videotapes in the houses together. How is it not connected?
It was one man with allegations by a number of women, which doesn't make it an enterprise. And that is why he's not guilty.
But you forgot about the enablers, the minions, and all the other people who played a part. Remember those 50 witnesses, 45 or whatever. Remember? Or maybe not. You were too busy with Bill Cosby celebrating before you got the call. Is that what happened?
Of racketeering.
She said he was remorseful. What did you mean by that? You said he didn't have to confess that he was remorseful.
I said he has regrets and he is sad.
He has regrets and sad, but he didn't say that. How come you didn't let him say that? Something would have been good.
Nobody wants to hear what he heard today. He's a human being. He feels what other people are feeling, but that doesn't mean that he can accept responsibility in the way that the government would like him to and the way other people would like him to, because he disagrees. He is not. He disagrees with the characterizations that have been made about him. But that doesn't mean he's not a human being and can't feel something when other people are in pain.
It's his abuser here today. You said that his sister abused him as he was a kid. He has 4 people here today.
Yes, he has a number of friends here today. No, his sister is not here today. He's been estranged from her for quite some time. He has 2 brothers who are fully in support of him, who were also victims of sexual abuse in his household. So they are here in spirit, although not here personally. So no, And
What do you say to people who say he's a predator?
have you had the opportunity to speak to Joy? Yes, I speak to Joy regularly, and Joy is just fine. She is sad, but she told him, and she sent me a text message telling him to pray and put it in God's hands, and she loves him, and they're going to get through this. That's what she had to say to him.
Is he a predator?
No, he's not. No, he's not a predater.
Wow.
You're saying that these members of the Jennifer Bonjean, Bonjean.
Are you saying that this sexual abuse didn't happen?
No, we just went over some of the terms that the judge was reading to him. We didn't have a lot of time, but he was prepared for it. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, there you have it. She's talked to Joy. Joy texted her. And she said something else right before that. I just forgot. But yeah.
She said Joy is doing fine. Told him to keep praying and get through this.
And what she said something else too before that I can't remember. But anyway, so that was an interesting touch at the end of that about Joy. Tell him to leave it in God's hands. And wow. And imagine being her parent, listening to that, and you ain't talked to your daughter, don't know where she is, don't know how she is. And people like this Bonjean, just part of another part of the network. Might as well say part of the enterprise, in my opinion. I don't know why it just slipped my mind what she was saying, because I was going to speak on it, but I decided because she said Joy, I was like, oh, well, let me hear this too. Damn, let me just go back this touch.
We actually didn't have a lot of time, but he must have to say to him,
Is he a predator?
No, he's not.
Is he a predator?
Joy is just fine. She is set friends here today. No, his
Oh,
sister is
the sister. So people are asking about the sister because according to him and the brother, she has, molested them as young children, criminally molested them. But he's been estranged, according to her, from her for some time. And the brothers were there in spirit. They weren't there either. Something like this. Where's your family? Your brothers, why weren't they there? Yeah. All righty. Okay, y'all. What are you doing? Hello.
Hello. It was good.
We done. Okay. Well, that's all I got.
Thank you.
You're unmuted.
Yeah, I was saying that she looking to me. It was a bad look representation on his behalf, as far as like nobody is there, not even believe was there on your behalf. And she talking about they there in spirit and all this and that and third. Well, they were there. They promised to during the trial. Where are they at now? Let me guess. Too busy looking for that stuff, as Carrie said. And
is the live over?
That says a lot.
Kim is
talking about a person. That says a lot about a person. You don't have nobody there for you besides your friends that's saying that they're your family. They're not your family. They're your fanatic fans.
And that's a good point, Antoinette, because I think I brought this up earlier about Joy. She wrote that letter. How come she didn't show up? It would have been a good look for him to have her in the courtroom.
If she's so safe and sound and healthy and being well taken care of, living her greatest life and everything, what stopped her from getting there to be with her amazing, deeply in love man? That's why it's so concerning to me about her well-being. No, R. Kelly got money to retain Bonjean and anything else, but she's not doing this out of kindness of her heart. She can't say that with a straight face. So he could have flew if Joycelyn not living in New York. Why he didn't tell them, get my baby girl here with me? I need somebody here with me. I don't think Joycelyn said all of that. I don't think she sent no text, and I don't think that she sent no letter. And if she did send anything, it was pre-scripted, and her hand was twisted and forced to do it.
Well, Joy probably would have been swamped with reporters. You know, the first thing they would have asked her was, have you talked to your parents? What do you got to say about the 30 years? Are you going to sit there? You know, so that's why she didn't come again. You said the brothers are there in spirit. If you there and you know, why couldn't you be there on your brother's behalf? You wrote that, she wrote all that stuff that occurred to him, but you couldn't write that. You couldn't write that. You couldn't be there to be able to speak on that. That don't make no sense. You're right. Where are your loved ones?
Go ahead, Kim, because I have to mute you. Go ahead.
No, it's just I was always told when your family don't be messed up with you, that says a lot about that person individually.
Yeah, it definitely says a lot about him. And we already knew this, but it just doesn't, you know, you want to say that maybe at the sentencing. I mean, this is kind of a last straw. And I don't know. I kind of don't see him facing this trial after this sentence. I feel like Bonjean might convince him to plea out on that Illinois, but she's actually standing by him on his conviction about not being, you know, being not guilty. So maybe she will continue to push him and have him do all this because, of course, it looks good for her as the attorney to be busy and booked and in a high profile case, yet another one. But all right, y'all. But I appreciate y'all, as of course earlier, like I said, 5-hour live before the sentence and during, and yeah, it's lit. And thank you again, and y'all on the panel, queens, and last words for our warriors here on this Warrior Wednesday.
Excellent live.
Peace and love to everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Too late to take a plea. Not for Illinois, I don't think. But we'll see. All right, y'all. Peace.